So this is Gerry Sweeney's Mammy. When I was about this high, I didn't know anything about sex, where babies came from, or anything like that. Jan is now filling me in and all that stuff. We're a year married, so it's about time she said I knew this sort of stuff. So I thought that a chap could have 3 mammies. As you can see, this is not biologically based, this is on human emotion. And I thought my definition of a mother at 4 or 5 was somebody who loved you to that nth degree. And I had 3 people like that, so I thought that's what a mammy meant. And we had 110% proof mammies. I had my own lovely mother Rita, I had Lizzie Sweeney up the road, and my Aunt Mary down in Cork. And my mother had to take me inside and say, right, you know Gerry Sweeney's mammy isn't your mammy, don't you? And I go, oh, really? And I thought, right, so I had to write a poem called Gerry Sweeney's Mammy. And this is for a lovely lady who should get a love poem, a poem in celebration and praise for her. I've never forgot her, and my friend is the same. Gerry Sweeney's Mammy. Mrs. Sweeney was Gerry Sweeney's mammy. And even though I had my own, I had her on loan. It was like having a spare mammy. And even when she was mad with us, she just couldn't be mad with us. Go on, she'd grin, go on. You'd wear the heart out of a stone. And if you fell, and you was crying, your heart and knee badly grazed, or badly bitten by a bee, she would hug you up with all of herself. Come here to me, you poor little dote. Wrap you up in so much love, it would last for years. For years. Gerry Sweeney was my best friend ever. Way back in the way back then. Still is, nothing's changed. Except those young fellas have become old fellas, who still think they're young fellas. And every time I see him, I could almost cry. I can still see his mammy smiling out of his eyes. Thank you. You may wonder how I choose which poem to read. As you can see, there's all these little me's, they're all going, read me. So as I read a poem, I just pull myself out and throw myself away like that. This is called Now We Is 60. This is the one where I was going to read all the poems about childhood and and all that. And I was teaching year 3. And when you're a supply teacher, you're often left with no work. And you have to wing it, and you go, what will I do now? So you do try to ask the kids, what did you do last week? And they don't want to tell you because you're going to make them do more. So they all just go. And then one stout little member at the back of the class, the nerd, going, please sir, we were doing an of cleavage. And I thought, whoa, I won't go there. And I said, what were you doing a week before that? And they said, all quiet again, the little guy at the back. Please sir, we were doing the spinach armada. And I thought, right, okay. Can you get the door there? There's somebody, poor devil. Oh, you can get in. I thought you couldn't get in. Hello, John. Hello. So, the next day I bought in many bunches of spinach and nice Seville oranges, and we bombarded the spinach armada. We won, by the way. I was then on to year 8. And because this is the agency's life, it just changes like that. And I went into year 8, and everybody started talking in a pirate voice. And we're 6 months away from OR, Pirate Day. And I didn't know why boy after boy was going, OR this and OR that. And I was thinking, what is happening there? And they're just trying to disrupt you. So I was teaching Pythagoras' theorem, so I said, OR, as you can see, the sails on the good ship Hypotenuse is equal to some of the sails on the other 2 gallons. And they all thought, this guy has got a number, we can't beat that. So this is called Now We Is 60. A year 8 child inquires how old I be. I be just 60. He gasps, my God, you're very active for 60. 60 for him is a distant planet in a galaxy far, far from here. Yea, another dimension. I smile my 60-year-old smile, perfected by now. I am starlight that will reach him when he himself is 60, if he ever remembers what he has long ago forgotten. Thank you. delights of my childhood was my Uncle Michael. He was like a treasure trove to me. And he could make the world just be so completely different. So this is his voice, and it's called "A thin slice of ham in the hand is better than a fat pig in a dream." Never bolt your door with a boiled carrot, as Uncle would say with a wink, tongue in cheek. It didn't make any sense, as our door was always open. We never knew it locked. And I liked my carrots raw and sweet and stolen, plucked from my father's little plot. He perplexed by the little human rabbits, his mouse-caked boots standing amazed as we hid, holding our breaths amongst the flowering cur's pinks. But poets and pigs are only appreciated after their death, as they say, whoever they are. But as I always say, don't be after breaking your shin on a stool that isn't there. Thank you. Now, my world ended when my sister died, and I lived up to 9. I lived a glorious life in beautiful technicolor, and then I went into black and white. And my way of escape was into words, into sounds, into books, and that's where I escaped into, and that's where all the reading comes in. So this is called "So Pricket Hem na Tour in Her Courageous." Never did help my dad enough. Always head stuck in a book. "Dónall, son," he'd call, "can you hold this while I saw?" "Oh, Dad," I'd wail, me lost in Chaucer and his tale. And so the saw saws, but all I see is, yo, the miller was a chap of 16 stone, a great stout fellow, big and brown and bone. The saw cuts through the afternoon. Pauses then, Chaucer's on again. He did well out of them, for he could go and win the ram at any wrestling show. Say what? Oh, don't get me wrong. I adored the aesthetic beauty of sawdust floating in a universe of its own, suspended in sunlight and shadow. The smell of pine kidnapping my mind. The green dance of the bubble in a spirit level. Didn't have time for all that hammering and sawing. I was a boy on a mission ever since our teacher signed, "Oh, I don't know why I teach you scruffs, Chaucer. You'll never read the book." But by the weekend, furious at the rebuff, I had. My poor old dad only getting begrudging help. When that April, the words falling like gentle rain upon my mind, with his surest sota, the drocht of March, words, words, oh sweet words, had passed it to the rota, my mind bathed every vine in switch liqueur, the bubble in the spirit level, poised perfectly, perfectly poised, of which the two engendered is the floor. Thank you. Too many of me's now, they're all popping up. And that should be up here. When my little girl was learning her numbers and her letters, I used to teach her with, I was sort of like Thomas More. Thomas More taught his daughter how to do the letters by archery. And they put up the letters and they'd have to hit a B or an O and you go, and that's how he taught them. I had the same idea with my little girl, and we had wooden letters and wooden numbers. And I gave her a pea shooter, and I'd go, "Okay, Tilly, hit me an O," and she'd go, and knock over an O. So, you know, it was a very tangible experience of learning letters. So this is called, she used to crawl up on my lap and look at anything that I was looking at, Spartacus. And she went around the house shouting, "I am Spartacus." So this is called "I am Infinitas." Here is our wooden O. It is our 0, yellow. There is a 7, but it is missing. The puppy's chewing an orange too. "Puppy, puppy, no!" The admonished puppy looks astonished. "This is a good chew, this orange too," it whimpers. She herself is 4 and a little bit more. "When will I be this one?" "That's an 8, I tell her. It will take you 4 more years of being you to be it." The 8 has fallen on its side asleep, becoming an infinity. Ah, infinitas. My little infant, this is what you really are. The unboundedness of you, an infinity of you, Always after, when asked what age she is, she will always answer with a hearty laugh, I am infinitas. And this is for my brother who died when this book was coming out. It's called the Vincis Ghost. Not having many books in the house, not have many resources to art, you'd cut them out of books and papers, and I used to have Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man up on the wall. Guy inside the circle, naked, standing like this, very scowly face. So this is called Da Vinci's Ghost. I listened to classical guitar in the dark, with only a single candle for company. These, my teenage years. Music and flame travelled through my mind, unveiling thought. Da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, pinned to the wall with most pins missing. He comes alive and the candles flicker. Gets into a flap each time the door opens. Little brother is spooked by that Vitruvian stare, but is fascinated by the fact that he exists within a circle, within a square. Like a priest, I dress myself in the garb of Leonardo's words. Write what the soul is. Illustrate whence comes madness, whence tears, whence dreams. The whences make him wince. As he sees it, it is like a man travelling through time in his dream machine and arriving at his own dying, becoming his own ghost. Our mother's voice calls him, and he is grateful to escape his own thought. Now, here I am at your death, as you step inside the circle, inside the square. You stare back at me with that Vitruvian stare, and I try to write what the soul is. Thank you. I've lost one. This is about my first poetry performance that I gave when I was 12. It wasn't as salubrious as this. I'm melting by the horrible. Told you about the Wizard of Oz, didn't I? Right, I'll get up for this. It's called Make Words Break From Me, Here All Alone, Do You? And it's for Gerry Manley Hopkins, my saviour. So first day at secondary school. It's one of the bad things about having curly hair. Grabbed by my curls, my face forced into the toilet bowl, flushed with laughter, they with great glee pee upon thee. This, the sacred ritual of becoming a first year in secondary. They hang me up to dry on a coat rack. I am an old akimbo, feeble bag of flesh and bones, defenceless nerd. Tut, 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 they tut. Reading Hopkins at your age. I dangle hopelessly, a helpless, broken puppet, their brute bullying mastering me, Lord. They tear the wind hover, by Christ, from the anthology, stuff the pages into my mouth, scatter the precious words in a confetti of hate. I call on Father Hopkins to come to my aid, and he gives me his words. I spit them out, speak with all the authority of his voice. I cut this morning's minion, kingdom of daylight's dolphin, dapple dawn drawn falcon in his riding of the rolling level on the neat and steady plain. Shh, shh, they shush me, in case Brother Finbar storms out of his cell like a soutane spider to see such poetry scrawled in his scream upon the air, but I am not for shushing. My heart in hiding, stirred for a bird, the achieve of the mastery of the thing. Shh, shh, they now plead. Here, buckle, and the fire that breaks from thee den, a billion times told lovelier, more dangerous, O my chevalier. Shh, shh, they beg, but there is now no stopping me. I am charged with the grandeur of Gerry Manley Hopkins. See, they flee before the glory of his words. I fling phrase after them, his words chasing them. No wonder of it. Sheer plod makes plough down Cillian shine, and blue bleak embers, ah, my dear, fall, gall themselves, and gash gold vermilion. Thank you. For my dad, it's called I Have No Gifts to Bring. I bring him back bits of the world, as a child would. Broken green glass among the grass, like grass on fire with green. A cat that yawns, and every time it yawns, it has the bark of an invisible dog. Sound and sight synchronized for a laugh. A swan sitting on a park bench, as if it were a park bench for swans only. All these useless bits of broken world that my father will never see, I carry them back in words like a child trying to capture the sea in a blue bucket, trying not to spill a single thing that's seen, back to Naas General Hospital. Offer them like treasure as only the child I was could. And then and now your smile, treating them as wondrous to behold. Is the world so? It is so, I say, both as man and boy. The glass grins shining in the sun like a little green fire. A cat caught mid-yawn by some ventriloquist dog in a lonely backyard. A swan who thinks it's human. You smile at these gifts I bring, such little things to offer to your dying. Thank you.